Hi, ladies and gentlemen. This is Shelley Kraft coming to you live on SNNLive. We're at the 14th Annual B. Riley & Company Investor Conference here in Santa Monica, California. Standing next to me, if you don't already know who this is Chris Lahiji, LD Micro. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris, welcome to SNNLive.
Thank you for having me, Shelley. Thank you.
Okay, so what the heck is going on in this marketplace? I think it's a bull run on microcaps. Am I nuts?
Man, I mean, I've been wrong for 3 straight years. So I've been kind of, people look at me as a half-empty type guy, where, you could say something and I'll be like, always look at the negative of it. The premise is, you're looking at multi-year highs for the NASDAQ. The Dow's hit an all-time high. I take it that the S&P has also hit an all-time high. I really don't understand this. I think the fundamental picture for a lot of the everyday Americans is not a good one. I think the premise is that the cost of living, the cost of food, the cost of energy, the cost of healthcare, they've all gone up. And the only thing that hasn't gone up with it are wages, real wages, actual wages. So I don't look at an economy and say, let's see how the top 1, 2, 3% are doing. I look at an economy and say, what's 90, 95, 96% doing? And it still hasn't improved for me. My basis is that this rally is absolute batshit insanity. I mean, I really don't know where this buying is coming from. I know my short brethren has been absolutely killed, including ourselves. We're down a lot this year. Like, I never want to go to to do an interview and say I'm down for the year, but we've been killed. And I don't know when we'll get back to reality. But for now, the bulls are enjoying it and the bears are taking it in the you-know-what.
So let me ask you, how does it affect microcaps? Because let's face it, that's where the money is going to go eventually. Because you're at limits.
Right. Speculative juices are flowing, and it's these companies that have very high volatility, very high beta, that are getting a lot of action. The penchant for risk is coming back. Crappy deals that couldn't get done in the last 2 years are coming back now as new crappy deals. There are going to be microcaps that are going to do well, and there have been microcaps that have been on absolute tears. But I think a lot of it still has to do with storyline and liquidity. But it's just there are more companies that are pre-revenue, I don't want to say pre-business plan, but not ripe, that are kicking butt just sheerly based off momentum.
So the other thing that was bandied about was the crowdfunding and the Jumpstart for Jobs Act, and the fact that the SEC hasn't acted. Mm-hmm. And I know that now it's reached governmental proportions that in the Senate Republicans are scolding Obama, and I'm looking at it like, well, who's right here?
Well, for full disclosure, I am a libertarian. So I will always say that there is way too much regulation and way too much red tape for a lot of these smaller companies. I don't think that a 50 million market cap should have the same regulatory issues as, say, General Electric, ExxonMobil, any of these big guys. And plus, they don't have the tax accountants and the attorneys to hide that money in Ireland and, in the Cayman Islands and all these places where, they can reduce or mitigate their tax exposure. The basis is I'll believe it when I see it. So if the government is serious about getting companies to go public, they need to make it easier. They need to give people the capability of having it easier to fund something. And they should also realize the risks. Like, I know every single day, why do you think I don't even like Vegas? I don't like Vegas because I gamble every single day. When I go to Vegas, it's like, $10, $20 on red. No, I do this all the time. So I think once people realize that this is a very speculative environment, you don't need all these regulations and things that protect investors, because this. If you find something good, there is a very high probability that you probably won't make any money on it. But there's also a chance, like the Powerball, you'll make a lot of money. So Jobs Act, crowdfunding, all these nice fun terms, I'd love for them to be successful. and I would love to see companies go public. I mean, I can't think of 5 companies that have gone public in the last year. I can't, under 150 million market cap. And it's because the costs are too high. If the government reduces these costs, then guess what? More money will flow and more companies will go public.
Okay, it's time for your one pearl of wisdom.
Oh, God.
For
This is
our
crazy.
database of investors.
I don't want to talk about my top 5 holdings because, that's not fair. I will tell you that there is one company, they are not at this conference, that has really struck my eye. It's a company called Mad Cats. The ticker is MCZ. For full disclosure, we own it. Mad Cats is interesting because it's a San Diego-based company that makes third-party accessories for the video game market. And no one, how can I put this, no one's really following it. Internally, it's improving, and there's a lot of new consoles coming out. So every single time there's a new console that comes out, guess what? The stock rips in anticipation. So if you look at a 10-year chart, you'll see Mad Catz basically going like this. And we've been following and owning the name since 2004. So it's more of a trade than an overall investment, but that is my pick because either things are down for a reason or things have gone up a lot. And I tend to look where no one else is looking.
Okay, date for the LD Micro Conference in Los Angeles at the Lux Hotel. And, have you outgrown it yet?
3rd, 4th, and 5th, we'll do 222 companies this year.
And that's December. 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
It will be 3 days. And I think we will fill every single slot.
I don't doubt it. What is the website to find out more information about this young man?
ldmicro.com. I will end by saying this. I think that in the scheme of a year, I think B. Riley's quality of companies are the highest during the year. In terms of real names that you can invest in, I think these guys have done a fantastic job. I really try to emulate my own event through Roth as well as B. Riley.
You always say that. You give such great compliments to...
Oh, no, because these are the conferences that have been around for a long time. These are the conferences that do it right. There are some that don't do it correctly, but we will, out of respect for them, we will not make mention.
Yeah, you're doing very good up until now.
Thank you, exactly. No, but look, the premise is every conference you learn something new, you meet with management for better or for worse, you get insight that you couldn't read, that you couldn't download, that you couldn't get on a PDF. That's why we do this. That's why I love coming to these things. And I really hope that both Roth and B. Riley continue to host great events because it's not that, we need more high quality conferences. We need them. We need better conduits for companies to get exposure. This is necessary because there are so many names that don't get the notoriety they deserve because no one knows about them. So this is one of those areas where they can come and really showcase themselves, and we know we've been unbelievably impressed. I mean, my analysts are basically working their butts off because every single track has something interesting that we want to see.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chris Lahiji of LD Micro. I'm Shelley Kraft. This is SNNLive. We are at the 14th Annual B. Riley & Company Investor Conference right here in lovely, on the beach, Santa Monica. It's good to see you.
Thank you, Shelley.
You're welcome.